Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got another new load and choke to try out. It took me a little while to find one of these chokes and this thread in stock, and a few of you guys have wanted to see us run these particular version of these shells, so when I finally got both of them, I figured let's put them together and see what they could do, because it should look pretty impressive. But for the shells we've got today, I brought out some more of the Winchester Longbeard TSS shells. These ones are the 20 gauge, 3 inch, 1 and 9/16 ounce payload of TSS 8-shot, moving about 1100 feet per second. We've tried the 9s in pretty much everything. We've tried the 8s in 12 gauge as well, and all of them have given us some very nice looking results, except the 410s have been a little bit funny sometimes. But the 20 gauge ones have been great so far, but some of you guys wanted to see the 8s, and they should be some good performers, so we'll see what we can get from them. But as for the setup we're going to run them through, I brought out my Stevens 301 20 gauge. It's got a 26-inch barrel on it, and for that new choke, I finally was able to pick up a Patternmaster Code Black Turkey in this thread. It's a 565 constriction, so it should work out very nicely with these Longbeard TSS 8s. But as for today's test, everything is the same as usual. The turkey target's at 40 yards, and I've got the chronograph so we can get our velocity. So let's get you guys to view that target and see what the Longbeard TSS 8s can do through this 565 Patternmaster. I have some pretty high expectations for it, but let's take our shot and see what it gives us. Alright, so that shell gave us 1116 through the chrono. Boss claim is 1100, so we're pretty much right there where we should be. So looking perfectly fine for a velocity up here, but how did they pattern down there at 40? Let's go check it out and see. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and what we got is pretty impressive to say the least. Now, right off the bat, we were a touch low and a touch to the right, so we'll have to watch that with this new Patternmaster choke and see if that trend continues or not, because that 301 does shift points of impact sometimes with different chokes, but I don't think I've ever shot low and right with it, so we might have to compensate with that particular choke. Either way, we saw a very nasty pattern down here. I'll bring you guys in since the Birchwood Casey didn't do a great job at flaking off, but yeah, that is a tight pattern with a really hot core, and that's 8-shot in a 20 gauge. Typically, when we would see a pattern like that, it would be from 9s, but these Longbeard TSS 8s have been pretty nasty performers as well. I would not hesitate to take that out on a turkey hunt any day of the week. Now, I will go ahead and throw up a 10-inch circle equivalent right there around our core since we were low and right, so you guys can see what it looks like, because it's definitely very hot, and most of our load is within there. And there are no voids or anything to speak of in there either. Looks very nice and even. Now, around the edges, it does give us a little bit of leeway to work with, but not a whole lot. I think this top right edge of the pattern flared out just a touch compared to the rest. We have a little bit of splotchy stuff over here off that right edge, but still, it's not like it's blown all over the place or anything like that. We might have a couple of flyers down there low and maybe one or two over here off the left, but there's absolutely nothing anywhere else on the paper at all. Everything is right down there at the bottom right corner of that turkey paper. And if we had that centered up, 90+% of your load would be on that actual turkey target. So that is a tight pattern, no doubt about it. It gives you a little bit of leeway to work with at 40, but not a whole lot at the end of the day here. We did still have a dead turkey. There's one through the brain and a couple more down the spine, but that is about the extent of the leeway you get. So that pattern is going to be very tight in there at 20 yards, no doubt about it. But that is an impressive performance. And I would say that, once again, the new Longbeard TSS shells are some great performers, but we're off to a pretty nasty start here as well with that Patternmaster 565. I had pretty high hopes coming into it that putting these two together would give us a pretty nice looking pattern like that, and I definitely think it lived up to it. And if this is the starting point, and maybe we can just refine a few of those tiny little edges, then that might be one of the top performing shell combinations that we've seen from 20 gauge. That's nasty, no doubt about it. A TSS 8 with that kind of a pattern is going to be good to 50+ yards all day long. You're going to have the energy out to 60 yards as well if that pattern holds up, and judging by how that looks, I think it might. So definitely pretty impressive today, and I wouldn't hesitate to hunt with that combination, but I would probably keep my shots out at a little bit farther distances than right up there at 20 yards. So definitely nothing to complain about there, I don't think. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance right there? That's a nasty pattern. There's no doubt about it. That central 10 inches right there is probably 80+% of your load. So that's definitely a pretty tight looking pattern. Around the edges, really not much to complain about. That top right corner might be just a touch, little bit of splotchy stuff right there, but that's kind of nitpicking at this point, to be honest with you. It's nothing detrimental to that pattern one bit. And for a starting point, I don't know that we can get a whole lot better than that, but if we happen to find the choke combination that refines that little bit of stuff right up there and maybe picks up a couple of those flyers, then I don't know if you could really get any better out of a 20 gauge. If you have essentially a 12-inch pattern down here at 40, does it really get any better than that? Or do you really need any tighter than that? I don't think so. So definitely very impressive today. No complaints from me, that's for sure. I wouldn't hesitate to hunt with that pattern. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these new Longbeard TSS loads or the 20 gauge 8-shot version? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from them? Is that a pattern that you would hunt with? Or maybe is it a little bit too tight for you out here at 40 still? And what other choke combos or shells do you want to see us run with either those Longbeard TSS loads or that Patternmaster 565? Let me know your thoughts about it down in the comments. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.